Hello guys, so we are looking at the rank 1 player, the Royal Cannon, closing up to 4k LP. So early on he goes to the ward just to check where Graves bats the wards, and what's really important to point out is that early on he wants to pressure the Cinder as much as possible due to her having a higher damage output with her Deathfire touch. Now, as much as you guys notice, both are spacing each other's Qs and both are fishing for Q opportunities. That's what they are doing at level 1. But Cassiopeia's Q always outrates Syndra's Q, even if Syndra's Q does actually hit. So that's very important to actually know. Same thing, just keep pressuring. He values more pressure over last hits, if it makes sense. And that's what you should ideally do as Cassiopeia. Always punish over last hits. One other important thing to point out at level 3, put 2 points in your E, because W is a low value ability against a ranged champion. Against melee champs it could work, or if your CC jungler is ganking, you could follow it up with a W so they can flash it away, but usually put 2 points into E for better DPS output and wave clear. Another key thing I want to point out is that tracking your opponent's cooldown. For example, Syndra uses her Q, it's a 7-second cooldown at level 4. And if she doesn't have her Q, she can push her back, but it will not stun, neither grant her a passive stack for mana and scaling power. So that's the... So whether her Q or E is on cooldown, both ways she can actually be punished. First recall, he likes to go for Tia, Boots and Zephyr Crystal. He often goes Rod, Seraphs and Raleigh Crystal Scepter, really important Cassiopeia items. So once you reach level 6, this is where you start to pressure way more, especially with an R flash, but you can also W flash as well to put pressure on your opponent. And what's like really interesting is that even this way you will be able to pick up a kill. And at this stage of the game it's like very difficult for her to disengage, of course, but at least did actually manage to chunk them down pretty nicely. Seems like she doesn't manage to pick up a kill. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Let's skip a little bit forward. Now another interesting thing I want to point out, if your opponent is being kicked into you and they are facing towards you, as we can visually see, you can R them and that will consistently stun them. So if someone is either dashing towards you or your ally flings it towards you, you'll be able to get a consistent stun off, so definitely commit for it. In teamfights it's very important to look for this type of Cassiopeia chokes where they all walk into your W and R AoE, especially if you get to have a nice R flash off, which is one of the scariest things that you can do as Cassiopeia. So mind you that at this stage of the game... Oh, it looks like he lives? Oh my god, he does live. Third item is, consistently the Seraphs, and now he has almost his rod stacked up. He has a bunch of mobility as well. And so like this is the stage of the game where she does a lot of damage. She's also like fairly durable. Because you see, like, this amount of durability also like helps you to play very aggressively due to it countering the amount of damage that they have. Like if you wouldn't have these items, you would just die here as Cassiopeia. However, have you ever wondered how does he play actually Cassiopeia on bot lane? Well, why would you even go Cassiopeia bot lane? He has a good DPS output even on the bot lane role. And notably guys, if you have a CC support, that's even better, because the only thing that stops Cassiopeia from running you down is you disengaging, but if Thresh does not allow that, you might just be dead actually. So early on it's a bit more passive, they are looking for shorter trades with their Qs, but nothing special. They're mainly like looking to scale up to I would say level 2, 3 ideally. So remember, your goal is to mainly short trade with QE, and ideally if Thresh hits a hook, then yes, that's your all-in angle. But if you don't have I would say at least like level 3, 2, will not be able to like force, and now they are positioning quite aggressively because they are about to hit level 3. Flash does actually snap up, gets a sneaky flashy, and they finish off. So as you can see, if someone is actually locked down, she can actually dish out so much amount of damage, it's unreal. So that's the advantage of playing Cassiopeia ADC. If your support has a good amount of CC, it will be a really good champion. I'm gonna show you guys something really interesting. So his recall is M-Tome, you know, Tear of Goddess, generic stuff, and they tank the wave, so they hold it on their side. Seems like the Soraka cancels the recall as well, so it's quite a fair fight. Thresh misses his hook, but fun fact, just because she hit her E, her DPS output is so high that it's just unreal, guys, like what this champion does. If you don't have reliable CC against her, it's unreal what Cassiopeia can do to your ADC, and Soraka plainly does not have reliable CC for Yunara to disengage. Also, this is a very important first recall into Soraka's Oblivion Orb. The interesting thing is because she has Deathfire Touch and, you know, general poison tick damage, he can actually... There's no way. You can brute force this hard. Zero CC to peel yourself. Wow, that's actually crazy. That's actually crazy. Now, I mean, he's really skilled, don't get me wrong, but the champion seems pretty strong as well. Although, as I noticed, he goes full aggressive with his items, as we can see, no rod actually. And he aims to like snowball as efficiently as possible. It seems like he gets Soraka's flash out, which is good enough actually. Another key thing is that once you have your R, when Thresh hooks people, they will always face towards you. And the interesting thing is even his E also like forces them to look towards you, so there are some support abilities like Blitzcrank hooks as well that forces the enemy champion to face towards you, which also allows you to get a nice aura off actually.